everyone? Welcome to 406 Regen. Just got done putting the bowl in with the milk cow. Gotta move the ram lambs yet, but I thought I'd look over the well house coulee here with you guys. Been gone. I haven't had a chance really to look at it this summer, and as you can see, I didn't touch it, didn't graze it. This was after the spring when I ran the sheep across it real quick and knocked it all down. This is what everything grew up to in here. As some of this intermediate is, that one there is probably about 5'8", 5'9". There's every once in a while I'll come across a plant that's taller than me, and I'm 6 foot, so pretty cool stuff for not having grass like this grow to get it to do that. So as you can tell, there's a lot down here. So, and of course it did good for everything to go to seed. Still got nice young alfalfa coming up. Did really good to let everything go to seed out here, I think. Down here in this coulee, a lot of this alfalfa, there's still flowers on this one. That's pretty cool to see. Like I said, nothing's been grazed out here unless a deer came around and snipped it down, but everything's so dry, turned dry. It's getting close to fall, no water. So it's pretty cool to still see alfalfa with the flowers on it. But, as I was saying, this is the field that I've bale grazed, on-rolled hay on quite a bit for this spring, and then the winter before that I did just with the horses. There's still quite a bit of bare ground out here and there, like right here. Like there's no cover here on the ground. You can see the grass it's fairly spotty, and you can tell how dry it is. But one cool thing I wanted when I get down here, as I'll show you, in this bottom, of course, it grew better. And the alfalfa came in really nice. This winter, it's my goal to be able to build a roller crimper. Now that's something you pull behind your tractor that'll come in and it'll lay this down like a carpet. It'll make it, it'll be really nice like a carpet. And it's something that's not really made its way out west here yet. You can find them probably starting in Iowa and Minnesota and going further east from there. We have land rollers out here, but they don't have the crimper effect on them, so they don't quite knock down the grass as good as one would like. But I get down this coulee and I'm going to show you something very awesome for us. Okay, now there's nothing in here. As you can see, it looks like something drove across. And maybe there might be a four-wheeler track here when I chase the horses out, but because when I let the horses out, they were in the coulee on that side of the fence, and then I ran them down to the yard. So this here grass, look at this alfalfa, how it all just laid down and made its own carpet. This is why I want to build that roller crimper, do this across the whole place. Let's see if we can, because you get down here and that's still really nice and green, and like there's the ground. Now we haven't had rain for quite some time, so it's dry. Ain't no denying it. But look at the amount of how it all laid down. I mean, that's what it did. It made that hole. It just laid it down. And that's what we're trying to get for the whole place, is to be able for the grass and the alfalfa to naturally do this if we can't graze across it. Because right now it's like walking on a carpet. It's just good cover. It's going to really protect this ground, keep the moisture protected from the sun when we do have it. Next spring, this is going to take off like nobody's business. Now, this well house coulee out here on this land, if you plow up a field, you get thistles. Canadian thistles come in very bad, very quickly and very bad. Now you can mitigate that by a couple of things. You can spray it out. You can work it up, keep working it until you totally kill the ground, which is what we did when we did this little field. So we worked it, planted it. That winter I unrolled hay on it for the horses. I guess early this spring when there's still snow on the ground, but this spring I ran the sheep across it, unrolled more hay on it, and I don't think there was 15 thistle plants out here. Single plants, not 15 patches, but 15 plants. And this field is just notorious for any time you do anything in this field, they just shoot up, and they're very bad. But this cover, it's when your grass is growing, when you get everything going good, the thistles aren't going to take off as bad as what everybody makes out. Some more flowers on some of these down here in this bottom where it's still wet. Well, still had more moisture because, like I say, it's the bottom. You got the hillside drainage here and behind me. But yet again, look at this. Look at the carpet it laid down. This is all by itself. It just laid down this nice thick mat, and it is awesome. I cannot wait till spring for to see what this field's gonna do. This alfalfa in here, it's gonna be so cool. It's right now. It's very awesome to see there's still flowers out here. That's pretty amazing when most of the ground looks brown like that on top. Everywhere. But yeah, so we're building a roller crimper. There's some different style of crimpers you can put on the roller, and some's called the Chevron, and I'm gonna buy those instead of build those, the crimpers themselves. So they're just a blade. They look, well, it's a Chevron, so it looks kind of like a V, but it's supposed to really smooth up the crimping action and keeping it really nice. So we're out here. My brother and uncle just got up here to help move those ram lambs, but thought I'd show you, do a pasture walk. I haven't got to do it all summer. I've been in machinery, and that's yeah, I'm tired of machinery, tired of the cost of everything. People think, oh, it only costs you that much to buy it. It's not just the purchase price, it's the maintenance, the upkeep, the using of it. It costs, every piece of machinery you own costs money every single day, whether you see it or not. It does. So I'm getting fairly tired of that. That F450 we picked up to do that job, transmission went out. I don't know why yet. I haven't got the tear into it. That'll be soon, but I needed to get a few loads of hay moved to where I could actually afford to buy parts. And that's partially the reason we don't like debt or the risk of stuff, is paid a lot for us. Most money we've ever spent on a pickup, shoot, we didn't spend that much on the semis when we bought them. It was $15,000, and I didn't even get to make one payment. Use the pickup one day, and the transmission goes screwy. So now, now I'm stuck with a pickup that I can't use, but yet it's taking money just sitting there because it's, I got a loan on it. So now it's, yeah, it is what it is. This is where we had the horses, and it's this pasture ground. It's all hillside, so it's not very good. And we let them eat it fairly hard because I knew there was nothing really here and very good, and I was trying to let the other pasture they're on green up and get some food in that, because they don't get rotated as much as they should yet, and that's something I'm working on. But small steps, every day, one more day, you gotta take another step forward, keep going, and you end up, why a lot of the smaller homesteads kind of fail is it's that fine line between how many animals you can have and what you want to do to the place, and also be able to afford to do it. If you got to go work a job, now you got time at night, you got to move. We move our animals every 2 days. That don't sound, that's should be fairly simple. Shouldn't take us that long. But trust me, it gets to a person. You're in the middle of something. Oh, I gotta go move them. I gotta go do that. So when you're a small producer, I almost believe it'd be easier for a bigger producer as far as the animals pay for the time at that point. Right now, the animals aren't paying money-wise, financially. They're not paying for the labor that gets put into them. Because we have such a small number, it wouldn't work to sell any, because that doesn't do nothing. It gets no money at all, basically, because, don't have that many head. So, I don't know, it's a fine balance. I'm still struggling to find it, and I'm going to be doing a long-form video on nets versus polywire, and that, because all my animals are still in nets, which makes it that much more of a pain in the butt. Nets definitely have their place, and they definitely have an expiration date. So, part of me, I just want to buy more sheep just to force myself to get away from the nets, so I don't have to worry about that. But the nets worked. I had the puppies in there with them, and it protected everything from the coyotes. Now the pups, they're getting bigger, and they'll be able to handle coyotes if they had to. Now, all the dogs I got, that's not my goal. I don't want them to have to handle coyotes. And so far, the barking and everything's kept everything away, so that's what we'll do. Look at that carpet. It's very nice to be able to see this. And this, like I said, this is all laid down on itself. All this cover, just the earth is doing what it's supposed to do to try to get its cover down. There's a thistle plant. Before, you wouldn't be able to walk out here if you didn't cut it down or something. After we disturbed it and plowed it up, you wouldn't have been able to walk out here and not get your legs all tore up from thistles. But now you just walk out here and it's just this carpet. So awesome. But so I just thought I'd come out here, walk through the field. I ain't got to do that. Kind of ease my soul a little bit and walk around out here, talk to you guys, and kind of explain kind of goings on from here on out. Got all that hay that we put up all summer that we have to haul now, and I'll be adding some sheep here and there when I can find them, when I can afford them. Probably won't be able to add as many as I was hoping. I wanted to get big enough numbers that next year they helped pay for the labor that they're getting every 2 days. Also got fencing I need to do yet, and I haven't even got to touch none of my fencing stuff, which sucks, but I've been not on the farm here for the last month and a half just doing that job, and it's gonna take me another month to get the job even finished. But anyhow, we got a paycheck coming, so that's nice. But we are still moving forward. I still want to buy a little bit of winter rye to put in the ground if I can. I don't know, so far none of my cover crops have worked. The peas and stuff this year, that was pretty much a fail. I don't know if it was because they just ran out of nutrients in the ground or if the rain just shut off, because the rain did kind of shut off, but I didn't see no oats or anything of that, and nothing really came up. There was some areas here and there where the peas were doing good. I had a couple of pea plants that were about 1.5 feet, and then they just dried up. So yeah, so I don't know if it's our drills now not working, or I'm not sure the right way to go anymore. I don't know. I'm really tired of equipment, but yet in some hands it's like, well, maybe the equipment, certain pieces of equipment is what you need. That's always a struggle in the modern world, is you need equipment, you need this. It's how people can go broke so easy, is they get convinced that they need it, when maybe if they wait an extra year, the animals can take care of it or whatnot. This roller crimper I'm going to build, I don't have the amount of animals to be able to cover the ground I want to regenerate the place as fast as I can. And at the moment, I don't have that good of a water supply to bring in a whole bunch of yearlings or steers just to run it down. And even then, I'm not set up for that yet. So that roller crimper, I believe, is something I need, but it's equipment. Something we're going to build ourselves to help save money on it instead of buying them. Yeah, a brand new one about the size I'm going to build, I think it's about $16,000 without shipping. And so let's say $18,000 US total. For a piece of equipment that you just pull behind a tractor. But I don't know. It's very cool to see this, and I'd really love to be able to get all this, get it all laid down nice and flat, instead of always having to on-roll the hay on it, except on select few areas. Like, I'm always going to have the winter ground where I'm going to improve, and I'll talk more where I'm going to winter them this year. I'll talk more about that on that field when I get out there to them. I'm planning on cutting it down, making whatever kind of feed that this dry stuff would make, and then seeding it into winter rye if I can, if the drills will even do it. I don't know. I'm going to try again. Keep trying on covers, and hopefully one of them takes. So far I've been trying to do spring covers, and our ground's all cool season, so it doesn't really work in the spring all that well, unless you got worked up ground, which I don't. And I'm going to try very hard to not ever do. That brings up the question, well, if I don't ever, how do I get chicken feed to grow and hog feed if I don't spray out the ground on certain acres and I don't work it? How am I going to get that kind of feed to grow? If there's some farmers watching this, help me out, give me some advice. Like I said, no chemicals. I don't want to burn the ground, and I'd prefer not to work it up again. So I don't know. It's a very hard question to answer for us, but we're trying, and we'll figure it out. I don't know if our drills, they're double disc drills, they're not no-tills. We were able to plant, some of this. Now again, this field has worked. We worked this field before we got into the Regen Ag and knew about it. So where you see some of the better grasses here is fields that we had worked and spent a lot of money in diesel fuel and time in the tractor seat killing the ground. So I just don't know. There's some ground out here that the grass only grew 5 inches, and that was not hay ground. We didn't hay it this year. we didn't hay so far we haven't hayed the majority of it. We hayed this ground, you know, but the majority out back we didn't touch yet. I'm gonna have to bale some of this up so I make sure I have some fodder for winter, and I have other green stuff, you know, good green alfalfa bales to go with it. Next spring, I believe I'm gonna raise my sickle bar up on all my cutters out here on this land to somewhere between 5 and 7 inches, and hay that way. See what kind of regrowth I get off of that, because that'd be kind of like a 50% graze. And like I said, if some of the grass don't even get, you know, some of the brome out here didn't even get to that height, to 5 inches hardly. So we'll see. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna put any animals out here on this well house coulee for the winter again, or if I'm just gonna let it sit here and catch its whatever snow we kind of get and just let it settle in. Like I say, I'm gonna try to build a roller crimper. It'd be awful nice to crimp it down and get that carpet down, because I honestly believe if we get some good carpet down like that, and the biology will pick up in the ground. It's hard seeing the ground the way it is out here, because there's next to no biology in the ground. Obviously, I mean, I suppose there's gonna be something because some stuff grows, but you know, there's not much. You get out on farmers' grounds, unless they put biology down with their seeds, there's none there. And again, that's just enough to grow that crop. Humans are very good about getting the maximum amount out of the land, and it's a shame. And I'm watching harvest season and watching a lot of things, lots of questions in my brain and pop up when you watch all the conventional farmers around you, and then you look at some fields that are just sprayed out and they're just dead, like 100% dead. There's just nothing out there. And it's like, why even have that? Put some kind of something in there to collect the sunlight, you know. But I guess I'm starting to rant now, so if y'all are still here, thanks for watching. I know my long form videos have been slow coming lately. Gonna attempt to do better at this now that I got a little breathing room, and I can still not fully moved back here to the ranch house, but I'll have more opportunity to be able to spend the hour and a half, 2 hours on the computer editing and putting these videos out. So if you guys like the video or like the scenery, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Y'all have a good one.